ugly.
Not so fast, Electro.
Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro, also known as, came out in 2001 and is a direct sequel to the 2000 Spider-Man game that I just talked about in my last video, which you should totally watch if you haven't already. It's really cool. Though it was still produced by Activision, just like the last one, Neversoft didn't have a hand in this one. Instead, the development was handed down to Vicarious Visions, who are mostly known for movie tie-in games as well as handheld ports of other games. it could still be good.
Previously on Spider-Man.
The game opens up with a last time on, showing us scenes from the last game. Now these scenes are remade with the new graphics. We can see from a comparison that there's been a bit of an enhancement in the detail on the character models. Then we move on to the opening of this game. We see a hooded figure walking into a ridiculous science lab that could only exist in Final Fantasy, and attacking guards and scientists along the way. Eventually, our hooded invader removes his poncho of mystery to reveal that it's none other than Electro. I wish I'd known before, because when he walked into the room, I could have been all like, "Enter Electro," because that's the name of the game. I guess it should have been obvious it was Electro, because he was shooting lightning bolts, and he's the name of the game. Well, it's too late now. Nope. No way I can go back and edit that. Nope. Can't do it. Electro shoots a computer and hacks the planet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure computers don't work that way. Electro steals a mysterious gadget and flies away, thinking of a funny YouTube video he saw earlier. Then we jump into the gameplay. We can see another graphical enhancement in that the city and skyline are quite a bit more detailed, though some areas of the game can be a little excessively dark. Unlike the last game, working the tutorial into the first level, this game has a tacked on tutorial that felt kinda too long and a bit redundant to me.
But I've been doing this for a while now. I think I'm okay.
Indeed. We shall see.
You sassing me, beast, huh? You think you better than me? Well, I mean, at least we have the Spidey Roundhouse. Once you finish this tutorial level, we see Spidey perched up high, when a nearby building explodes. As a hooded Electro speeds away, Spidey tags him with a spider tracer before taking on some goons. Later, your spider tracer leads you to Hangar 18. Here we find one of the first bits of the game that really annoyed me. See, the villains have stolen the contents of this plane, tied up the pilot, and jammed the controls, before escaping via helicopter. Now, being a superhero, it's your obligation to stop the plane and save the pilot.
Quick, Spider Lad. You stop the plane, and I'll get the bad guys. Oh, wait. I don't have a sidekick.
Now, the game kind of throws you in without telling you anything, giving you only seconds to experiment and figure out what's going on. You do the wrong thing, or don't act quick enough. Why did it explode? It touched some crates. Is it made of nitroglycerin? Spidey mentioned something about needing to move the crates and open the door, but that seemed impossible to pull off before the plane crashed into them. The way I managed to beat it was webbing up both propellers, but you need to kind of alternate back and forth, webbing them bit by bit, or the plane will veer off and... I don't claim to be any kind of expert on game design, but this is a fundamental example of bad game design. Throwing the player into a situation where they need to act instantly, without so much as a hint of what to do. I don't need to be told outright what to do, but if I don't have time to look around and think, it should at least be obvious. A lot of this game tries to mimic stuff from the past game. For example, this stealth level where you need to do a switch puzzle, similar to one from the first game. Now see, with the puzzle in Spider-Man 1, it's made obvious what you need to do. Open the doors to get to Venom. It's obvious what the buttons are doing. Opening the doors. All the buttons are in the same room, and jumping from button to button isn't that time consuming. With the puzzle in Enter Electro, what you need to do and what the buttons are doing isn't made apparent until you get to the end of the stage, and then you need to backtrack, which is painfully time-consuming. I wandered around this level going in circles through identical rooms until I figured out you can navigate with these signs on the walls. All of these rooms look the same, and I honestly thought I was just going in circles for the longest time. Also, this stealth level is just painful. I know I praised the stealth level in the first game, but this one's terrible. In the first game, you can freely explore and see the stage from the ceiling, getting the drop on enemies when you're good and confident, or webbing them up. You know, just you got things you can do. It's just good. You can do whatever you want. In this one, there's no ceiling to stick to. Instead, you need to try and peer around corners. And with the fact that you can't control the camera directly, this is so impossible that I just cheated and used invisibility. Yeah, you know, admittedly, this game got pretty painful. While I tried my best to give it a legit go and actually enjoy it, it was just too annoying. So eventually I went full-on Game Genie and just cheated.
A city block in my hands.
Okay, some of these are making me regret complimenting the character models earlier. Grrr. The boss battles in the first game were all very fun, and I was almost never stuck wondering, what am I supposed to do? I can't say the same about Enter Electro. The perfect example is this fight with Hammerhead. See, in Neversoft Spider-Man, there's a fight with Rhino, and it's a pretty common type of fight. I'm sure you've seen it in many types of games, but it's still fun, and done very well here. You see, Rhino stomps around the room and charges at you. You need to trick him into charging into explosive barrels, brick walls, or these electrical technology thingies by jumping out of the way at the last second. You've probably seen this before. This level is simple because the camera is always focused on Rhino, so you never need to wonder where he is. He telegraphs all of his attacks, so they're simple but still a fun challenge to dodge. In Enter Electro, the Hammerhead fight is the same thing, but also he has a machine gun. The camera is not focused on him, so it's really tough to tell where he is. Most of the time, he just fires his gun instead of charging, and you can only really substantially hurt him after he's charged into a wall and stunned, which you get very few chances to do. He doesn't seem to telegraph any of his attacks, as far as I could tell, so this level seemed impossible. I could rant forever about how fundamentally wrong and broken this battle is, and how it ignores everything that made the Rhino battle work. The only way I was able to get past this was to use God mode and just wail on him. Whatever, I just needed to get past this, I don't care, blah. At this point, I want to mention that I honestly didn't have much idea what was going on in the story. From what I gathered, at the start, Electro stole this Reality Vest 64 and needs some jewel to power it. A bunch of other stuff kept happening that seemed to distract from it, so overall, I was pretty lost. Electro is invading a museum to try and get the Chaos Emerald thing that he needs, so you need to make your way through to stop him. This leads to a segment that, aesthetically, I really liked. And I only liked it aesthetically. You wind up in a room in a museum that shows the history of the Earth, and you need to climb up avoiding Electro's bolts. I think this level looks really cool. You know, I've seen things like this in actual museums, so you know, it was pretty cool to get this, I don't know. I just thought it was cool, okay? But gosh dang, is it hard. It's hard! If you get hit by Electro's bolts, you get knocked down. Now you can position yourself so you land on the displays and models that are jutting out from the side, but you don't always have this luxury, and I kept getting knocked back down to the start. Admittedly, I gave up on this level. I skipped to the next one, which is the battle with Electro. It's nothing special. He stands on a platform in the middle of the planetarium, and you just gotta climb up some stuff and jump over to him and hit him. Really disappointing, considering it's the second to last fight. Well, as the story goes, the bad guy tries to get the thing he needs, and the hero tries to stop them, but the bad guy does get the thing he needs, and it gives him ultimate power. In this particular case, Electro becomes pure energy and seems unstoppable. And I mean really. I had no idea what to do in this fight. I just fiddled around and hit some stuff, and eventually I won.
I need a new
And the day is saved thanks to the amazing... whatever. Newspaper gives credit to Thor for stopping Electro, and they make a joke about playing cards in jail, just like the last game.
If it weren't for Spider-Man, I'd be a god now! Would you shut up? No.
What a disappointment. This game is a weak sequel to one of my favorite games, and honestly, it kinda stings. I really just wanted this to be more of what I loved about its predecessor. I don't know if it's just because it was a less experienced team, less time, or less money, but there's drastically less polish and so many problems. On top of all of that, the story is weak and hard to follow. There are a few neat added features, such as customizing your spider suit abilities, which would have been really cool were they in a much better game. But, alas, there is a what-if mode just like the last game, and I loved that. It was one of my favorite parts. Let's see what wackiness we can find. Oh, a banana. Heh.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be careful gathering your carry-on baggage as items in the overhead compartments may have shifted during flight.
Thanks for watching. It's been 2 years making these dumb videos. I'm gonna probably try and do some special or something. Click on one of these other things if you want to watch them. Subscribe, because that's really cool and helpful. Alright. TTYL, BBs.